of the biggest things holding you back from winning more gunfights in Battlefield 6 is a bad habit you probably don't even realize that you have: bad centering. It's a mistake most players make every single match, but it's also one of the easiest things to fix. In today's video, I'm breaking down exactly how to master your centering, along with 7 other essential tips to help you rack up more kills and stay alive longer. These are the exact strategies that help me hit top 1% in objectives captured and top 2% in kills. Let's dive in. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Gabe, and the whole purpose of this channel is to help you guys become better players. And today we're going to go over a few tips that have really helped me step my game up, help me get more kills, die less, and just essential tips that you need to be using to become a better player. All right, we're gonna start this video off by talking about the thing that I just mentioned in the beginning of this video, is centering. Centering is probably one of the most important things you can do in Battlefield 6. Well, not just Battlefield 6, but any FPS shooting game. Having good centering is not only good practice, but it's gonna help you get a lot more kills. Now, you might be a bit confused on what good centering is, and that's okay. I'm here to explain it to you. Having good centering, it's gonna be referred to your crosshair, okay? You want your crosshair in the middle of your screen or where you think players are gonna be at all times. Now, I'm going to show you a couple clips here and let me know what you notice. All right, in these 2 clips here, I'm going to show you guys an example of bad centering. I want you guys to pay attention to where my center dot on my crosshair is, okay? Look where it's at. It's low to the ground. Boom, right here. Okay, so there's 2 things here. My crosshair is so low to the ground, which isn't good. But now I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to raise my crosshair and then aim at the guy to shoot him. I ended up killing this guy, but this guy should have killed me. Here we go. Okay, you guys see that split second that it took me to, my crosshair was down at the ground. I had to raise it up and then aim at the guy to kill him, which isn't good. 9 times out of 10 that guy kills me. So we're gonna move on here to the next clip, and this is gonna show you an example of what happens when we don't have good centering. Okay, so next clip here. You guys see that? You guys see he caught me off guard, first of all. Second of all, look how low my crosshair was. I didn't have a chance at all to kill this guy. All right, now these next 2 clips is gonna be an example of good centering. Okay, pay attention right here where my crosshair is in this clip. Check it out here. Look at how high my crosshair is. Look how it stays in the center screen the entire time. All right, and this is what it's gonna look like in real time when you're playing the game here. So here we go. Pay attention to the crosshair again. Moving, boom, I see the guy. As soon as I see him, I put my crosshair directly at him before I even start to aim. So as you can see, it's kind of hard to see. I'll zoom in here. My crosshair dot is exactly on the guy laying down. And here we go from here. Raise my gun. Easy kill. Now you guys see the difference between having bad centering and good centering. Bad centering, you know what I mean? The crosshair is down. I have to aim up, ADS at him. It's a big pain. As to this clip right here, my center dot was on him even before I started aiming. Easy kill. All right, now that we're here in this test range, we're gonna do a drill that's gonna help you with your centering. It's called following the bot, okay? What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pick a dummy or a bot. I'm gonna keep my center dot crosshair on the whole time. And right now, when I hit this button to free the targets, you're gonna start moving around, and I'm gonna try to keep this center dot crosshair on the bot as much as possible. Okay, so we're gonna go over here, interact with it to free the targets. We're gonna pick a bot. I'm gonna pick this one right here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my center dot crosshair on the whole time. I'm gonna move left to right. The whole time I'm doing that, I'm keeping the center dot on him as much as possible here. Okay, following him, following him. This is gonna be great for helping your centering. Okay, now, if you're having trouble keeping your center dot on the bot, it probably could be your settings. Okay, towards the end of this video, I'll go over a few settings you need to change to make this drill a little bit easier. All right, now moving on to the next drill. It's going to be pretty similar to the one we just did, but now we're going to start killing these bots. Okay, what we really want to focus on is making sure our center dot crosshair is on the bot before we start to shooting at him and killing him. Okay, so pick a target to start out with here. Start off target here. What I want to do is I want to find the bot, put our center dot crosshair on him before we start shooting at him. Pretty simple. Now notice I'm not ADSing, dragging over to that target, and then I'm shooting at him. Okay, that takes too long, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna break aim assist. The more you move your right stick, here to find your target, the less aim assist you're gonna have. Okay, so we want to maximize our aim assist, so we really want to make sure our center dot crosshair is on the bot first before we ADS at him. Okay, so really focus on that. So again, same thing, find our target right there. All right, now the last drill we're gonna do for centering is pretty much the same thing, but now we're gonna go behind cover, make sure we're kind of centered up as much as possible before we start shooting the bot. Okay, so for example here, I'm already centered on this bot here, so now when I peek the corner, my crosshair's already here. Okay, so same thing, this bot here. It's a little bit easier since you can see the outline, but you get the point here. So same thing, same bot over here. That's when I make sure I'm kind of lined up as center as possible before I'm peeking the corner, so that way I'm not like down here. I peek the corner, then I have to come all the way up here and adjust. We don't want that. Okay, don't want that at all. So a couple more. Making sure we're in the middle here. We'll pick this guy over here. Okay, we'll pick this side though. So center it out to the middle here, peeking him, killing him here. Last one here, same thing. Now again, if you're new to your FPSs, this might be something you've never heard before. For the more experienced players, it might be a little bit more refresher. But this seems like it's pretty small. But this one adjustment, the centering, is gonna bring your game from down here to all the way up here. You're gonna get so many more kills with it, and you're gonna win a lot more gunfights simply from having your crosshairs from down here. I know it feels comfortable to some people for the crosshairs to be down here, and being up here is gonna feel a little bit weird, but I promise you, once you bring your crosshairs up, it's gonna make these kills so much easier. The next thing we're gonna go over is using cover in gunfights and something called snaking. Okay, what snaking is you're gonna be kneeling down back behind cover, and you're constantly gonna be popping up and down to kind of see where enemies are at. So for example, I kind of know there's someone in like a general area. Now, instead of just standing straight up and ADSing to where anyone can shoot me, I'm going to be constantly moving up and down to like know exactly where the target is. So example, this clip here, let's play it. Staying back behind cover. There's a guy here, easy kill. See another guy staying back behind cover. And now this is when I start snaking. Okay, this guy has me hurt, so what I'm gonna do is, instead of staying straight up to where I die, stay by my cover so the health regens. And here we go, firing targets, popping up and down, finding where the targets are at. Okay, so again, pop it up and down. There he is. The next thing I want to go over is repositioning and resetting a gunfight. Okay, now what I mean by resetting a gunfight is, for example, like you're gonna see in this clip, I'm gonna come across somebody, he's gonna start shooting at me. I know I'm gonna lose that gunfight. Now, instead of staying in a gunfight and dying, I'm gonna reset it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull away from that engagement. I'm gonna take a different angle and completely reset the gunfight. Okay, so here we go. So here, boom, boom, boom. Now, if I would have stayed in the gunfight, I would have lost. So instead, resetting it, repositioning. Here I go, taking a different angle, and look, boom. That's the same guy that was shooting at me. The same guy. I took a different angle, and now look, get the kill. Pretty easy. It's kind of common sense, you know what I mean? But there's just like certain things that you might not think about as you're playing. But here we go, repositioning, resetting gunfights. All right, the next thing we're gonna go over is shoulder peeking. Okay, what shoulder peeking is, it's just gonna give you a little bit of information before you like round a corner. So for example, instead of just coming across here and there's someone being there and they end up just killing me, what I want to do here is I'm gonna get close to this corner here. I'm just gonna quickly shoulder it right there, see if there's anyone there. All right, anyone there? So same thing, this corner right here, there might be somebody all the way in this corner here. What I'm gonna do is quickly peek it with my shoulder. All right, peek it with my shoulder. See here, let's shoulder peek a little bit. One there. That's all there is to it. Pretty simple. Just peeking him with my shoulder peeking here, peeking it with my shoulder. Can't even speak. All right, for example here, if I'm going down this hallway and I'm gonna cut left here, first of all, I want to make sure my center dot crosshairs is in the middle here. And since I'm gonna be cutting down this hallway, I want to make sure I'm right here. That's more likely where the person's gonna be at. Okay, so now when I come across this hallway here, I'm gonna pre-aim right here. Right, pre-aiming just to make sure no one's gonna catch me in a sprint. Anytime I come close to a doorway, pre-aiming. So like right here, right there, pretty easy. Let's see if we can get into a couple gunfights here. All right, again, we're ADSing around these corners, pre-aiming. I'm pretty sure there's a guy right here. I just seen him ping there. Now this hallway, maybe. There he is. Easy kill. All right, here we go. Got some action. I just seen a guy right here. He's right here behind this wall. There's two. All right, the next thing we're gonna go over, it's a little bit more of an advanced technique, but it's called a jump slide. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, so for example, on the left hand side there's a guy around this corner. I know he's there. I seen him pinging on the map. Now if I just slowly ADS walk and try to get him, more than likely he's gonna kill me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna slide around the corner to catch him off guard. So here we go. I know he's around the corner, jump, slide, easy kill. Okay, so again, let's go back to that clip again. So again, jumping and slide around the corner, jump, slide for the kill. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how to actually do the jump slide. Okay, so whichever buttons you guys have bound to your jump and slide, those are the two you're going to be using mainly. Okay, so what I want to do is, obviously you want to be in a sprint. I'm going to jump, slide in the air, then jump again. Okay, so again, jump, slide, jump, jump in the air, slide, jump. Okay, so push your jump button, you're in the air. Hit your slide button or your prone button while you're in the air. When you start to slide, that's when you need to jump up again, jump up again in the air. Can't freaking talk over your setting styling. If you don't add that extra jump at the end, this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, you don't want that. So jump, slide, jump. All right. All right, now we're gonna take this a step further. It's a little bit more advanced. It might be kind of confusing at first, but once you get this down, it's really easy. Okay, we're gonna add an ADS. All right, so now we're gonna jump an ADS. The only different step is gonna be that second step, which is the ADS. So we're gonna jump ADS, hit our slide button in the air, and at the very end, jump again. Okay, so we're gonna get our speed, jump ADS, slide, jump, jump ADS, slide, jump. All right, so a lot of times you're not going to be able to hit very many shots with this, but what this is going to do is going to gather information, and if you throw some shots, it might kind of catch your opponent off guard and kind of, you know, stop him in the tracks a little bit. So example of this target here, jump, slide, put some shots in there. One more time, jump, slide, throw some shots, jump to the other side. All right, the last thing I want to go over are a few settings you need to change if you haven't changed them already. The first thing is going to be your field of view. This is kind of personal preference, but it shouldn't be any lower than 110. It should be from anywhere between 110 and 120. If it's any lower than that, your field of view is going to be super shrunken in, and if there's somebody off to your left and right, you're not going to be able to see them. So make sure this is changed to 110 to 120. All right, the next thing you want to go over is your peak type. Okay, now we talked about a little while ago the snaking up and down. If you change your peak type, it's going to make it so much easier. So we're going to scroll down all the way to, where is it at? So you could change this to sliding up only. I don't like it because if you're ADSing around the corner, you like start to lean, and it kind of throws off my aim. So I don't like that. So what I do is I just put it to up over. So what this is going to do is if you're peeked behind a corner, you can kind of raise your gun a little bit, and you'll see the gun will kind of raise up. And all you have to do is hit your ADS button, and it's going to automatically jump up and down. You need to change the setting to make it super easy for peeking. All right, the last two settings I want to go over are dead zones and aim sensitivity. Okay, so if we go into our settings here, we're going to scroll all the way down to controller tuning and dead zones. Okay, we want to concentrate on the controller left stick and right stick. I threw my left stick all the way up to 99 to exaggerate this so you guys can understand. So the easy way to explain this is the higher this number, the more tension you have to put on your stick before your stick registers that it's moving and for it to go. Okay, so for example, left stick, and now, so this is my left stick here. Pay attention how much tension I have to put on the stick for it to move. So over. Now my stick is almost all the way completely over, and my guy starts to move. Okay, that we don't want. It's going to make your controller feel sluggish. So we're going to go back in here. I'm going to go all the way back to controller tuning, go back to my dead zone here, and now I'm going to put this back to where I had it as a 1.5. Scroll. Now look how much tension I have to put on my stick before it starts to go. So here, right there, you guys see that? Now I'm barely moving my stick, and it's starting to go. That's exactly what we want. The trick to the dead zones is if you have a newer controller, you could probably put these down to as low as possible before you start getting stick drift, which is if you're not moving your stick, it automatically moves on its own. We don't want that. So what you want to do is you want to have this number as low as possible without getting stick drift. If you put it to a low number and you start to get a stick drift, bump it up and keep on bumping it up until your stick doesn't move anymore. Okay, all right, the last thing I want to talk about is your infantry to aim sensitivity. Okay, what this is going to be is when you're moving around the map and you're just kind of, you know, running around, is how sensitive your stick is going to be. So with this one, you do not want it very high, because like we talked about earlier in the following the bot drill, if you're not able to follow the bot, 9 times out of 10 your sensitivity is going to be too high. So if you can't follow the bot, you want to adjust your settings accordingly. I mean your sensitivity accordingly. We want it down to as low as possible to where it's comfortable, so you're able to stay on target and land shots. Now if you want to know how to find your perfect sensitivity for you, click on this video here. If you guys are still here watching the video, I greatly appreciate you. If you guys found any value in this video, I'd like to be appreciated, and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with all settings and meta. Until next time, chase your dreams, because your dreams will chase you. Peace.